Welcome to everyone who Scouts directly with us this morning. We recognize the valuable contributions of young people and adults in Scouts. I am Nishimura, and I will be the chairperson for this morning. We will start with this following of the Kansho, followed by the Butsu Ge. For those viewing at home, the service materials that were included in the email with the Zoom link.
Kansho. Butsu Ge. Samondo, 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 Samondo.
We will continue this morning service with the golden chain. I am a link in the meter golden chain of love that stretches around the ring. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in the Vita's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu.
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 Next, we will sing the Gatha, the texture of life, which is an insert in the service book. The handouts that were passed out are the texture of life. Those attending in person, please stand.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Please remain standing as Reverend Kory will now lead us in the reading of the three treasures.
Sankyemon. Ninjin ukikutashi imasuru ni kuku. Uppo kikikutashi imasuru ni kiku. Kono mi konjo ni mukate dose zumba sarari izure no sho ni mukate ka kono mi o dosen. Daishu moro tomo ni shishin ni sanmo ni kieshi tate matsuru beshi. 水から仏に消し立てまつる。まさに願わくは師匠と共に、大道を体現して無常に起こさん。水から法に消し立てまつる。まさに願わくは師匠と共に、深く共存に入りて知恵海のごとくならん。自らそうに消し立てまつる。まさに願わくは師匠と共に、大衆を取りして一切無限ならん。無常人事未明の方は、約千万号にもあよことかたし、我ら今検問し従事することたり、願わくは如来の真実義を下し立てまつらん。 The three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult it is to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be free from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I put my faith in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of thy way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves thy supreme will. I put my faith in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I put my faith in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in thy life of harmony, in a spirit of universal family, free from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Reverend Kory will now introduce our guest speaker.
Oh, I'm going to be scared in 5 years. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming to this Scout Sunday service. We have a very, very special guest speaker today. She's probably getting really embarrassed now. Wow. So, Reverend Hokai Smith, or Reverend Maribeth Smitty Hokai Okay, Reverend, let me read it with my finger. Reverend Maribeth Smitty Hokai Smith. Okay. We're going to call her Reverend Smitty or Smitty Sensei. Okay. Was born and raised in a suburb of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She attended the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis and graduated with a BS in physical science and a commission as an ensign in the Navy. After departing the USNA, Reverend Smitty earned her wings as a naval aviator in Pensacola, Florida, and went on to fly both helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft throughout her 27 years in uniform, retiring with the rank of commander. Now, you all know what a commander is, right? No? How many know what an admiral is? Have you ever heard of admiral? Right? Yeah. Okay. So you're going to be an admiral? No? Oh, that's what you call yourself?
I'm going to be in the Air Force.
You want to be in the Air Force? Okay, well, so to put it in perspective, it goes commander, captain, and then the admiral ranks.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
No, it's one.
Top Gun, they were naval aviators. Yeah. Okay. Good. But the various locations of Navy assignments and worldwide deployments of ships gave Reverend Smitty an opportunity to visit temples and explore several schools of Buddhism. After retirement, Reverend Smitty became more involved at the Buddhist Temple of San Diego, first as a Sangha member and later becoming a BCA certified minister assistant. She received her Tokudo, or ordination, in the Jodoshinshu Hongan Shinha tradition in Kyoto
in 2019 and participated in the first Kyoshi training outside of Japan in August 2022 at the Jodo Shinshu Center in Berkeley. Reverend Smitty received her Kyoshi certification in October 2022. In addition to her undergrad degree from USNA, she received the certificate in Shin Buddhist Studies from the Institute of Buddhist Studies in 2017 and holds a Master's of Education from Heritage University. Reverend Smitty resides in San Diego with her spouse Jackie Gore and their gray tuxedo cat named Moon Shadow. In her spare time, Reverend Smitty enjoys reading mostly mystery and suspense, walking or easy hiking, and cheering for her favorite sports team, which includes the Steelers, the Penguins, and Pirates from her hometown of Pittsburgh, in addition to the Padres and the Gulls from her adopted home of San Diego. And she watches way too much TV, especially retro stuff in black and white. Now, as I said, her rank is so impressive, right? I've always treated her like a normal person, but now that I read her bio, I'm thoroughly intimidated. To put it into perspective too, though, she's been retired, I asked her, since 2008. So how many years has it been since she's been retired? 15, what? 15 years, right? 15 years plus 27 is what?
49.
42, you're right. 42, right? How many of you guys are watching a game today? Later today? What game is today? What? Is that where they roll the ball and no? Super Bowl is what? Football, right? And you're going to watch the football game?
Yeah.
Yeah, American football, you're right.
But I'm going to be a great football player.
You're going to be a great football player?
Well, I would be.
Oh, good. Yeah, I think you could be if you work out a lot too. Okay, but so today, when they have the jets fly over, when you're watching the football game, right? Does anyone know what's so special about that today? They're all women or female aviators, right? And why are they all women today? Because they're better? Yes. They worked hard, right? To get there. That's right. Because they're celebrating this 50 years of female aviators or pilots in the military. 50 years. And how many years ago did Reverend Smitty start her naval career? 42 years ago. So can you imagine her service record at that to do be in the military that long ago? That at that point in time, not that long. I'm sorry. At that point in time, what life was like. Imagine that. And then to even put it even further, we were talking last night, and it occurred to me that why do we say thank you to our service people, the people that have served in the military? I said it kind of, right? They served. They dedicated their lives to this nation, to protecting people, to doing the things that maybe some people might not want to do. Right? And then she retired and then went back into service as a minister. Imagine that. So as I said, today we have this very special guest. She's given up her time at San Diego Buddhist Temple missing Junior Y seminar yesterday at their temple, and she's missing the Super Bowl, part of this, I hope, hopefully not the whole Super Bowl, but part of the Super Bowl to be with us here today and on this special Scout Sunday. So thank you to all of you for being here, and let's all enjoy the message from Reverend Maribeth Hokai Smith, or Reverend Smitty. Okay? All right. Thank you very much, everyone, and here we go. Thank you, Sensei. Okay.
I'm not sure who Reverend Kory was talking about. That sounded kind of cool to me. I also didn't know I was that old. I guess we all learn things when we come to temple, right? So good morning, everybody. And I'd like to start by thanking Reverend Kory, who tricked me into speaking, who invited me to be here today and take part in this special Scout Sunday service. And I was told that this morning I would get to come here and eat some brownies. Is that the deal? Why are you shaking your head, Sensei? Oh, I get to meet some brownies.
I don't know if it's PC to say you can eat some brownies.
As in scouts, not eat some brownies as in baked goods.
Oh, yes.
My mistake. You know, it really probably doesn't matter that I don't get to eat any brownie baked goods because, everybody's been feeding me so well since I've come up here to the temple that I don't know that I could fit in a brownie if I tried at this point. So let's continue with the Dharma talk and forget about my misunderstanding of what was going on this morning. Eating brownies and eating brownies. But please join me this morning in Kansho. If for countless kalpas to come, I should not become a great benefactor and save all the destitute and afflicted everywhere, may I not attain perfect enlightenment. Emitting a great light with my majestic power, I will completely illuminate the boundless world, dispelling thereby the darkness of the three defilements. I will deliver all beings from suffering and affliction. Namo Maribeth, Namanda, 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 Namanda. Okay, you might recognize those words better if I had chanted them to you, because they're verses 2 and 5 from Butsu Ge, or the verses reiterating the vows that come from the Sutra of the Buddha of Immeasurable Life. And in those two verses, Bodhisattva Dharmakara, who became Amida Buddha, specifically vows to save all beings who are suffering here in samsara. And we can think perhaps of Dharmakara's vows as a promise to do good for all beings. Not just help some beings, but to be of service to all beings. And that's a pretty serious vow or promise for somebody to make. So, other than not knowing the difference between brownies that are baked goods and brownies that are scouts, you might wonder what my qualifications are to speak here on Scout Sunday. And the truth is, I never was a scout. You see, my two older brothers were both scouts, the oldest one making it all the way to Eagle Scout. And I remember when they were first Cub Scouts and then, into Boy Scouts, and they did fun things like Pinewood Derby racing cars and hiking and canoeing and going to scout jamborees at a place called Camp Tyanesta in the mountains of western Pennsylvania. And I wanted to have fun like my big brothers did. So my parents took me to check out the Girl Scout troop in our area. And the troop was having an outing in the park near our house, and I wanted to know if they did cool things like the Boy Scouts did. But since this was quite a long time ago, things were a little bit different back then. And they did let me know that they had all kinds of fun, like making pot holders and baking brownies. Seriously, they baked brownies. Not the scout kind, they baked the banquet kind, so don't get confused there. And they also said that they had plans to visit a pumpkin patch because it was near Halloween time. Well, I asked that they build those miniature non-motorized racing cars out of a block of wood. No. Did they go on hikes or go canoeing? No. Did they camp out? No. But they did sometimes have sleepovers at some of the girls' homes. Well, my young child interpretation of what Girl Scouts did was that they had no fun. And so I wanted to be no part of them. My kid self just wanted to do fun things, like I saw my big brothers doing in the Scouts. But my adult self now knows that scouting is more than just having fun all the time. Sure, part of it is certainly having fun, but there's a lot more to scouting. I'm sure you can tell me more than I can tell you about that. But the Scouts PSA oath contains a sense of duty to help other people. And the Scout law, I'm pretty sure Reverend Kory can recite it for us. He laughs, but I know I've heard him say it. It specifies that a Scout is helpful. And similarly, we have the 3 C's of Girl Scouts that say that girls lead with courage and confidence in character to make the world a better place. That's a determination to make things better for others. And Girl Scouts promise to do their best to be honest and fair and friendly and helpful and considerate and caring and courageous and strong and responsible for what they say and do, and to respect themselves and others and respect authority and use resources wisely and make the world a better place and be a sister to every Girl Scout. And that, with the Scouts' duty to others, means that you have responsibility to your community, to the place you live, to the people you live with. So for decades, there's been a Scout meme of helping little old ladies cross the street. And this started way before even such a thing of a meme was a thing. But everybody knows what that is. So we would always see in the comic books and everything, there'd be a Scout helping little ladies cross the street in order to be helpful and do their good deed each day. And Girl Scout troops throughout the country have, for over a century, participated in community service projects, including things like caring for animals and sending cookies to military members and serving senior citizens and improving the environment. So I think scouting, no matter what type of scouting you participate in, there's a sense of service to all beings. That sense of duty to others, that promise to be of service to others, is something that I really learned about in the military. I didn't have the benefit of scouting to teach me about it because I was looking for something in the Scouts which was just having fun. But something I figured out in the Navy was that having fun and serving others didn't have to be mutually exclusive. In other words, you can do both things at the same time. Flying helicopters is a serious business, but it can be something fun and rewarding that you do as well. As a helicopter pilot, I was trained pretty extensively in search and rescue operations, or SAR. And our motto in SAR was, "So others may live." In other words, you did your job to the best of your ability to save the lives of others who were lost or in distress. And you make a vow of sorts to save the lives of others. I've flown hundreds of flight hours on search and rescue missions, and no matter how tired you are, no matter how hungry you might be, no matter how difficult the weather conditions are to be flying in, and no matter how long you've been flying on that day, you push yourself to do the best job you can, because somebody's life depends on your skills as a SAR pilot. And you made that promise to do your job so that others may live. And yes, I have rescued some people during my time in the Navy. And so that wasn't something I did alone, though. That was something I was able to do because of the crew I had with me in the helicopter. So I mentioned Bodhisattva Dharmakara earlier. Do you know what a Bodhisattva is? You heard that term before? Maybe, maybe not. Still thinking about it. Okay, one way to think about a Bodhisattva is one who puts off their complete enlightenment or stops just before becoming a Buddha. It's like stopping just before you become an admiral or a general to help everybody else get promoted up to admiral or general. So Bodhisattva stops just before they get to that final promotion to Buddha and helps others along the way to get there too, to become awakened or enlightened. So that's kind of a traditional way, well, maybe not so traditional when you compare it to ranks in the military, but you get the idea that that's a traditional way to define what a bodhisattva is. But I like to think that anyone or any being who helps you on the Nembutsu path can be considered a bodhisattva. There were times when Sensei helped me really understand things, and we would have discussions late at night at the Jodo Shinshu Center when we were going to classes. And he was a bodhisattva for me because he helped me to see things clearly, helped me to see things better. And somebody you know can be a bodhisattva to you. Sometimes we partake in, as I mentioned in the reading, in those three poisons of greed, anger, and ignorance or stupidity. And we don't recognize that in ourselves, that we're doing it. So sometimes I act selfishly without realizing it. And when I do that, and somebody points out my behavior and tells me to stop being so selfish or so self-centered, they're being a bodhisattva to me because they're helping me along my way in the Buddhist path, along the Nembutsu path. So as a scout, you've made a vow of sorts, a promise of kind, to be of service to other beings. And it might not be as grand as the Bodhisattva Dharmakara vows that I read, but it's a promise to help and serve others. And maybe it's helping animals at an animal shelter, spending some time there. And maybe it's helping homeless persons. I understand the troop here makes hygiene packs to share with homeless people. That's being of service to them. Maybe it's bringing joy to people in nursing homes. Maybe it's helping to clean up trash at a nearby park so that your friends and neighbors can enjoy the use of the park because you've cleaned it up for them to be able to use it. And maybe it's by participating in that old meme of helping a little old lady, and according to Sensei, I think now I'm considered a little old lady, across the street. Sure, sometimes you'd like to do things that are just the fun things in scouting. But sometimes helping others is something that's fun to do and very meaningful to both you and the beings that you're helping. So take it from somebody who wasn't a scout but learned later in life what it means to be of service to others. And I'm also glad I've now learned the difference between eating brownies and meeting brownies. So I hopefully won't make that mistake again. So please join me once again in Kansho as I read the words from Butsu Ge. And for countless kalpas to come, I should not become a great benefactor and save all the destitute and afflicted everywhere. May I not attain perfect enlightenment. Emitting a great light with my majestic power, I will completely illuminate the boundless worlds, dispelling thereby the darkness of the three defilements. I will deliver all beings from suffering and affliction. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, Namanda, Namanda.
Thank you, Sensei, for your message. Now we will have the reading of the 6 Paramitas.
6ハルミツ御仏様の御心に立ち返らさせていただいて、一つ、今日一日、清らかな真ん中を温かい情け、つつましやかな太郎で暮らしましょう。一つ、今日一日、腹を立てますまい。一つ、今日一日、不平不足嘘を押しますまい。一つ、今日一日、私の仕事に全身全量をかけて尽くさせていただきましょう。一つ、今日一日、夜昼常に私を守ることを御仏の心を喜ばさせていただきましょう。一つ、今日一日、南無阿弥陀仏を唱えさせていただきましょう。6 Paramitas. Turning our thoughts to the Buddha, let us throughout the day live with clear eyes, warm hearts, and humble attitude. Let us throughout the day not become angry. Let us throughout the day not be discontent, dissatisfaction, and untruth. Let us throughout the day do our daily work with all our power. Let us throughout the day rejoice in the love and compassion of our Lord Buddha, who is constantly watching over us day and night. Let us throughout the day repeat the holy name, Namo Amida Butsu. Promise, the Lord Buddha is our eternal Father and Mother. The Lord Buddha always keeps watch over us. We promise to listen to the teachings of the Buddha and perfect ourselves by following his ideals. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
We will now continue on to any announcements. If you have an announcement, please come and announce it. And if you are over Zoom, you may unmute yourself if you wish to make an announcement.
May I make an announcement?
Of course.
Can I have somebody who wants to represent the Girl Scouts and somebody from the Boy Scouts? Okay, we have many of everybody. I brought something for each troop or pack, whatever. I'm not sure what daisies are.
They're true.
They're troops too, okay. We have a tradition of, on special occasions, giving out challenge points to commemorate that special occasion. So for the Scouts, I brought one, like I said, for the Girl Scouts and one for the Boy Scouts. I didn't know what all kinds of Scouts that were here, so I apologize if I missed another group of Scouts that are out there that I didn't realize were part of this temple, because I'm impressed how many scouts are here today. But I wanted to give from some of the commands I served in points. So for the girls, I have from the headquarters of 5th Air Force, and I said when I was in Japan, I was in the Navy, but I was the liaison officer to the 5th and 13th Air Forces there. So I have one of the 5th Air Force coins from Japan that I'd like to give to the girls. Okay. And to the guys, I have a coin from when I was at the Pentagon serving on the Joint Staff, which is the senior most military staff in the country that we have. And I just happen to have been there for 9/11 too, so maybe someday I'll come back and tell more stories to people. But I wanted to share that coin with the guys as a token of my appreciation for inviting me up here and having me spend some time with you today.
Good morning. As was mentioned, today is the big game. And it'll start at 3 p.m. And I just wanted to thank all of you that donated to purchase squares for today's game, and to wish you good luck on your numbers. So I know Tommy's got good numbers. So. But thank you very much. The net proceeds will go toward temple general needs and such, which is great. So thank you.
I just wanted to announce that we'll be having Dharma School class today, and we're inviting all the Dharma School students and all the scouts for class downstairs, okay?
Hi, I'm Tommy Lapagiri, your new temple president. First of all, thank you, Reverend Smitty, for coming today and your Dharma message. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it with the BWA Memorial. Your message there as well, so thank you. Thank you, Reverend Kory, Reverend Richard, for officiating today. Our chairperson, Trent, Nishimura, organist, Judy Hopfield, and our AV crew of Kory and Raji. I have two short announcements. February is membership month, and so if you want to become a new member or renew your membership, this is the time to do it. You can find more information at bhbt.org/membership, and there's also membership applications downstairs. And if you become a member, you get this really neat You're the Rabbit magnet, and it's really nice, and you probably want one. And finally, Project Phone Book. We have a drawing every month that you can enter. I think the ticket costs $100, but each month a name is drawn and $500 is rewarded. In December, 2 prizes of $1,000 is awarded at that time. And if you need more information, come see me about that. And that's it. Thank you.
Are there any other announcements?
Was it fast enough? Okay. Thank you again, Smitty Sensei, for coming today. That wasn't my announcement though. Thank you to the Scouts for coming today. That wasn't my announcement either. Next week, next Saturday, starts our National Council kind of things. On the BCA website, under the heading of NCM 2023, they'll have workshops that are on, I guess on Zoom or I don't know. Well, they're available to the public. So if you're interested in joining in the workshops or listening to what goes on as a national organization, you can learn a little bit about those types of things. More importantly, On Sunday, February 26th, we won't have service physically here. It will be on YouTube. It's the BCA Eitaikyo service, or Perpetual Memorial Service, and Bishop's Memorial. So we'll be viewing online with all the other BCA temples for this special memorial service. I think that's it. March 19th. Yes, March 19th is our Spring Mohegan service. Hope that some of you can come and join. I recently got a confirmation for Reverend Ray Fukumoto will be our guest speaker for our Spring Mohegan service. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Trent.
If there are no further announcements,
Good morning, everybody. My name is George Johnston, and not really an announcement in a traditional sense, but I did want to point out and say thanks to my son, who's a member of Troop 764. His name is Jameson Johnston, or JJ. He did an Eagle Scout blood drive in the fall, and that's for his Eagle Scout rank that he's still working on. But I also wanted to make an announcement for Troop 764, because some of you Cub Scouts, Webelos, and nowadays Girl Scouts can think about Troop 764. And JJ is the sole representative today of Troop 764, which is based at the VJCC. Trent was in the same troop, but he aged out, but he's achieved his Eagle rank. So just more of an announcement to think about Troop 764 in the future. Thank you. There is another blood drive that's coming up soon, I think next weekend, with another scout. But I don't have the exact details on it.
there are no more announcements. Then we will conclude this morning's service with Sayonara, which is on the page 62 of the Round Service Book, followed by the reading of Benediction. Please rise. Benediction. We surround all people and all forms of life with infinite love and compassion. Particularly do we send forth loving thoughts to those in suffering and sorrow, to all those in doubt and ignorance, and to those whose feet are standing close to the great change we call death. We send forth oceans of wisdom, mercy, and love. Namo Amida Butsu.
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 May be seated. Thank you for attending this morning's service. Dharma School will have classes for preschool, elementary school, and for scouts beginning shortly downstairs or on the second Zoom here. Those on Zoom, please feel free to unmute and visit at this time.